Chapter 4. The next morning, the young gargoyle awoke from a nightmare with a shout as he broke from his stone exterior. "Daddy!" One of the tribe's women rushed to his side. "Calm down, little one." She sat beside him. "But my daddy," he appealed to her. "Your father is gone," she told him. He looked about. "Where is my mama? My mama brought me here?" He took her head and told him, "Your mama didn't make it." "They died?" Tears fell from the gargoyle's eyes. The woman hesitated and then explained to him, "From what I heard, your family risked their lives to save you. I know that is going to be hard to accept, but you're with us now. We will take care of you." She hugged him. "Everything will be okay," she reassured him as she wiped his tears. "Now straighten up. You must meet our Grand Wiccan. He is our leader." She told him as another woman entered the tent. "Tavo is ready. Bring him now," said the other woman. "Pep, Pep," she said as she rose to her feet. "We must go," and then thought, "What's your name?" "Copper," he told her as he stood up. "I am Rai," she introduced. "Follow me," he told him. As Copper stood, he noticed something around his waist and immediately tore it off as he followed the woman. Tavo was waiting a short distance outside for them to approach. He saw that one of the females assigned to watch over the gargoyle was now coming to him. As the females drew near, he looked beyond them to the gargoyle, and that the young gargoyle was still naked. Tavo was aware that everyone watched as the naked one strolled towards the Wiccan, and giggles from the crowd filled the air. Rai, the female leading the naked one, stopped in front of Tavo and spoke as she kneeled before him. "Grand Wiccan, I bring you Copper." She glanced over her shoulder to indicate Copper's presence, and her eyes widened when she saw he was bare. "Oh no," she whispered. "Why is he nude?" Tavo asked the female. She turned back to the Wiccan and smiled. "He wasn't a few minutes ago." "My name is Copper." The young gargoyle stepped forward and smiled at Tavo. "Hi." Tavo could not help but laugh. He then said, "Come with me, Copper, and let me welcome you to your new home." Laughter spread as the tribe members watched the little grey one throughout the day. Noticing him was not hard. As the day went on, Copper quickly became part of the tribe, and a tent was built for him next to the Grand Wiccan's own dwelling. Rules were set and instructions were given that no sex was to be brought to the gargoyle in hopes they could find him a female gargoyle. Ive was sitting on the low branch of a tree, enjoying some shade, yet welcoming the bits of sunlight that peeked through a few leaves at each light breeze, yet maintaining some shade. He heard voices and saw a small group of tribesmen gather in the center of his camping area. He leaped down from the tree, moved to see what is about. Moving through the crowd towards the commotion, he saw the cloaked girl standing in their midst. Primoana was waiting for the Wiccan to show himself when the crowd gathered around her. As she waited quietly, she noticed the young one, whom was no longer that young, break through the crowds towards her, and when he was near, she decided to say what she came to say. "Where's the gargoyle?" Knowing her gaze was on him, he replied, "With the Grand Wiccan." I've told her, then lifted his hand to point behind her. They watched as Tavo made his appearance, with the gargoyle child trailing close behind. Copper saw the cloaked girl and ran to her. "Hey!" cried out Copper. Primoana smiled and replied back, "Hey, you look..." She started to say and then laughed. She had never seen a gargoyle in mortal clothing. "You look good, little one," she told him as her eyes took to his white waistcloth and white bands circling around his lower calves and wrists. Copper looked to the crowd and then announced, She saved my life from the dragon. Turning back to her, he asked, "Are you staying?" "No, I just came to make sure you were in good hands," she told him. Tavo knew at any moment she could disappear and called to her. "Immortal," he called out. She turned and met his eyes as he continued. "I'd still would like to make amends to you for my past foolish behavior." Tavo saw the warmth in Primoana as her eyes turned sharp at his words. "I could rid my heart of this shame," he continued. Primoana looked down at the young gargoyle. "I too bear shame," interjected Ive. "I have had crazy dreams for too long from what happened, and I still feel to blame." Primoana spoke out. "I think we all share shame." "So you stay?" Ive asked. "You staying?" Papa also asked, eyes wide. Primoana started to shake her head, but then nodded in agreement. "I'll stay." She walked from the middle of the crowd, holding Copper's hand. Ive was personally overjoyed at her decision. That night, they all feasted. Primoana and Tavo sat together and spoke of the hard times following Mainin's death, and then moved on to other subjects. "I never known immortals to teleport." "Well, I never knew an immortal," Tavo said to her. "My mother was an albinus, and as you know, I can teleport. I don't know much about the rest of those like me," Primoana explained to the Grand Wiccan. "How do you?" Tavo began to ask. "Age?" He finished the question. "Yes," he concurred. "I'm aging now, just very, very slowly," he told him. "If only I could live as an immortal," sighed the Wiccan wishfully. "It is in the blood, correct?" "Yeah, but it's not all as it seems," she told him. "Yes, I understand," he said as he studied her. "You look of a child, but does your body remain as one as well?" He was curious. "As of now, yes. I can't give life yet. The first drop has yet to come. I guess I'm a late bloom," she laughed. "Ah, because you would have," laughed the Wiccan. "Yes," Primoana responded, catching on to Tavo's realization. "I would have. If Mainin's seed had been planted inside her, a baby would have come," she reminisced. "Again, I'm sorry," Tavo told her. "It's all right," Primoana reassured him. "I just choose not to speak of it." "Is it true immortals sleep heavy?" the Wiccan asked. "I don't know. I never," Primoana started to say, as she glanced around. He saw the boy from the past and nodded in his direction. "What's his name?" Tavo followed her stare. "Ive." Question? "Thank you," he said to him as she departed and headed towards him. "Ive!" he called out. Ive turned at the call and saw the cloaked girl coming his way. "My name is Primoana," he said to him, extending her hand in introduction. Accepting her hand, he responded, "Ive." "I know," she said. "I'm glad you stopped by to visit," Ive told her. Primoana then looked about and inquired of her, "Where's the little gargoyle?" "Copper?" he questioned. "That's his name?" she asked. "Yes," he replied, and then asked her, "Are you leaving?" "Yes," she said. "I wanted to wish you both a good night." "Will you be back?" I've wanted to know. "Doubt it," I told her. "If you don't mind my asking, what made you come this time?" "The young gargoyle," she told her. "I wanted to make sure he was not going to be anyone's personal slave or anything like that." I've laughed and asked, "Are you serious?" "Yeah. I know how some tribes work, which is why I'm not part of one," she explained. "We're not like that at all. We abide by nature," I've told her. He then spotted Copper through the crowd and called out, "Copper! Copper! Come here!" Hearing his name being called, Copper turned to see Ive and the cloaked girl. "I'm coming!" Copper told him and raced to their side. As the young gargoyle stopped in front of him, Ive said, looking down at him. Primoana's leaving now and wished to bid you a good night. What? No! Copper cried in disbelief and grabbed a hold of Primoana's cloak. You said you'd stay! Primoana's mouth dropped open and then tried to explain. Not forever. Yes, forever, pleaded Copper. No, I just wanted to make sure you were safe here. I am, Copper started to say. He wanted to make sure you were enslaved, Ive interrupted, and turned his head slightly so that Primoana couldn't see, winked one eye at Copper, and continued, or to make certain you weren't gonna be eaten of the sort, or caged away and starved, Copper said, smiling, catching on to Ive's tactic. Primoana glanced at the two of them. Okay, you two, hold on. They might cook me when you leave, Copper continued, or we'll manipulate him, slave him, and feed him once a day, Ive said with a playful grin. And torture me because I can no longer fly. Copper was into the act, but then paused at his own words. What was to be in jest was suddenly starting to scare him. Take me with you! He grabbed onto Primoana and wrapped his tail around her. Primoana laughed at the antics and gave, Okay, I'll stay the night. Yeah! Copper and Ive cheered. Just a night, Primoana told them firmly. Ah, come on, Copper pleaded for more. You said you don't have a tribe of your own, so stay for a while, said Ive. What will it hurt? If you don't like it here, then you leave, Ive suggested with a shrug. I don't know, Primoana said hesitantly. Please, Copper begged, and then smiled extremely hard at her, revealing all his teeth. Primoana giggled at the sight. One step at a time. Copper! Tavo called out. Huh? Copper turned his head in response to the wicket. It's getting late, Tavo told him. Dang. Copper stomped. That's the only thing I don't like. He looked back at Primoana. Save me? What's that? Primoana asked. Bedtime, Copper said disgustingly. Copper! Tavo called again. I'm coming, he called out, turning to leave. Primoana's staying with us, he informed Tavo. Oh yeah? Asked the wicket. Yeah, Copper smiled, wiggling his tail. Tavo looked at Ive and Primoana and smiled as he walked Copper to his tent. So why don't you have a tribe? Ive asked Primoana when the others left. As an immortal, we have no tribe. What about your parents? Asked Ive. Well, it's a long story, Primoana said. He wasn't ready to speak about her parents. Maybe another time? Ive asked, noting her hesitation. Maybe, he told him, and then thought for a moment. What about the dreams you said you had? He faltered. Maybe later, he suggested. Yeah, maybe later, he mimicked, and they shared a soft laugh as two tribeswomen approached Primoana. Let us show you your tent, they said to her. Okay, she agreed and looked over at Ive. Good night, she told him. Good night, he replied, and watched them walk away, losing them in the crowd. She does look slightly aged, he thought to himself, but not that much older from when he had seen her with Mainu many seasons ago. He then shook these thoughts away as he made his way to his own tent to catch some sleep as the night grew dark.